Before I became a gardener over 30 years ago, I was a cook. I loved the fresh vegetables from the garden. I loved the herbs. I loved everything about the garden except actually working in the garden. But then I went to cooking school at the Ballymaloe School of Cookery in Shanagary, Ireland. And when I walked through into their kitchen garden, my whole idea about a beautiful garden changed. In Ireland, I saw for the first time a beautiful European-inspired potager garden where there were flowers and herbs and fruits and vegetables all growing in the same garden. There was a bench where I could sit and I could relax and I could look at all these beautiful things that were growing in front of me and inhale the fragrance that was wafting up from the plants. At that moment, I realized that my own garden could be elevated from ordinary to extraordinary. That's when I came home and I started to study gardens. Food gardens are more important than ever. I want everyone to be able to experience pushing a seed in the ground, watching it grow, and seeing that green plant turn into something you can bring into the kitchen and say, I grew this, with such excitement and pride. Tasting food fresh from the garden, there's just nothing like it. And it's not only satisfying, but it's a really healthy way to eat. There are 3 things that I've learned that I want to share with you about designing gardens and growing gardens that I think will help you turn work into play. Number 1 is starting with a plan. When you start with a plan on paper, you get a sense of the landscape as a whole. The landscape needs to be thought of as a piece of connecting land that connects not just your house and your property, but also to your neighbors, to your view, to the weather, to the sky. There's so many things to learn about a landscape, and starting with a plan on paper is a great way to get started. Step number 2 is to grow something that's unusual. I have an 80-20 rule. 80% tried and true, things you know you love. Maybe it's beans, lettuce, carrots and peas, but then try something different, like maybe artichoke, or maybe some kind of wonderful Italian pole bean. That way you're always going to stay curious about trying something new in the garden. It will keep you looking forward to your garden each year. Step number 3 is to add comfortable spaces to sit and enjoy your garden and create a little sanctuary to be able to go out in your garden. It's not just a place to grow food, it's a place to enjoy and to experience nature and to smell and to taste and to listen. So put a bench in your garden. If you can, put a table with chairs in your garden and eat in your garden, because there's nothing more wonderful than being able to eat outside. I'm Ellen Ecker Ogden, author of The Complete Kitchen Garden and The New Heirloom Garden. Both are filled with designs, ideas, and my favorite recipes for gardeners who love to cook and cooks who love to garden.